Immigration has been an important and controversial topic in the Midwest for many years. In the past 10 to 20 years, the number of immigrants in the United States has grown quite a bit. Although many people think that immigration is hurting the Midwest, immigrants are actually helping our economy and doing things some Americans would never think of doing. Over the past 20 years, illegal immigration has become a big thing in the United States, not just the Midwest. Illegal immigration started booming back in the late 1980s and 1990s when meatpacking was a huge industry and business owners started hiring immigrants for lower pay. The business owners would often hire them because they would get more work done compared to some Americans who wouldn't even do the job. Many immigrants do not come to the Midwest to steal or cause trouble when they are here. Many just come to have a better life and better their families' lives. Mexico's government is also corrupted, using all the money for themselves instead of bettering their people. Most of the people that come from the Middle East are war refugees that come to get away from the war in countries like Iraq. There are multiple ways an immigrant can get to the Midwest legally. In order to get to the Midwest legally, you have to have a visa handed out from the United States government. There are many types of visas, yet not many are handed out. There are work visas, student visas, and many more types. A lot of the visas handed out are not for a lifetime. Some can be for a year, a couple months, or weeks. An immigrant can wait up to a whole lifetime just to get one visa. When applying for a visa, an immigrant must have an interview with the government official and send in application forms to the government for them to get approved. If immigrants decide to take the risk of crossing the border illegally without a visa, then they must hire a man, called a coyote, to help them cross the United States border safely. A coyote usually works between $50 to $500, which could take a long time for an immigrant to accumulate. Sometimes the coyotes that the immigrants hire don't help them much and don't care what happens to them, whether they die or are caught. Also, the trek across the desert is very dangerous, but is really the only chance they have to survive and have a better life. Many times when an immigrant is going to the United States, they usually leave their family behind in order to gain enough money in the United States for the rest of their family to come over later on. Legal immigration impacts the Midwest in both good and bad ways. When a legal immigrant comes over from Mexico or the Middle East, they are usually willing to do some of the jobs us Americans aren't. Many jobs such as meatpacking and farm work attract immigrants because they don't require much of an education. Even legal immigrants help the economy by providing more jobs. Illegal immigration also impacts the Midwest in good and bad ways. Illegal immigrants will be willing to do jobs we won't like legal immigrants. Only, when a business owner hires an illegal immigrant, the boss doesn't have to pay the immigrant minimum wage because they are not legal citizens registered in the United States. The economy also benefits from this as well as the business owners. Since the business owner pays their workers less, the owner makes a bigger profit which could be used to spend more on items in stores that therefore benefit the economy. The United States has a giant gate on the border between Mexico and the U.S. We also have guard posts guarding the entrance to the United States, and some guards also have the job of driving past the border into the desert to see if they can spot any illegal immigrants. Our gate guarding the border is not working effectively, seeing as people are climbing over it easily. Millions of dollars are spent on the gate, and some people don't think it is the best way to keep the immigrants out. Although we are working very hard at this, many illegals seem to sneak their way in. When an illegal immigrant is caught inside the border, the immigrant is usually taken to the county jail for up to a couple months. After that, the immigrant is most always given a hearing. If they appeal to the court, they might be able to stay inside the border given the situation. If the immigrant does not appeal to the court, they are deported back to where they came from by means of buses. The only problem with this is that it costs almost $1,200 to deport one immigrant, and they almost always try to come back later on. Some officials often turn a blind eye to this illegal immigration, mostly because of the cost.